Welcome to the Deep Dive, your way to quickly get up to speed. We cut through the noise, find the sources, and pull out the key stuff you need.
And today, we're diving into some thrilling South African high school rugby, looking at the recent results, what they really tell us. Our main source is a great piece called A Maroon Remontada Under the Sun, added to a high-scoring Derby Day weekend wrap.
Exactly, and what a weekend it was. Some really big clashes, especially in the King Price Derby series, but, other key games across the country too. Proper edge-of-your-seat rugby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's jump right in. The King Price Derby series.
Yeah, it definitely delivered, just like the source says. First up, that huge one, Grey College versus Affys in Bloemfontein. Right, and this isn't just any derby. It goes way back, like over 100 years to 1923. But the context this year was really interesting. Grey, usually so dominant at home, had actually lost recently to Paarl Gim and Paarl Boys. That Gim loss broke an 8-year home streak.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big. And Affys came in flying high, ranked 3rd nationally just before the game. Grey had slipped down to 5th, so the pressure was definitely on Grey, wasn't it?
Huge pressure. Yeah, the history, yes, but also Affys' form versus Grey needing to bounce back after those home defeats. It really set the stage. And the game, well, it started tense. Affys actually took 2 different 10-point leads in that first half.
Looked like they might run away with it early.
It sort of felt that way for a bit, but then a yellow card for Affys, and that seemed to be the turning point Grey needed.
Discipline. Always key in these big games, so Grey took advantage.
They absolutely did. It just shows you, doesn't it? Give a team like Grey an opening. Players like Ethan Adams, Lamlo Megadesi, they stepped up, scored tries. Suddenly, Grey leads 21-17 at halftime. Quite the swing.
Must have completely changed the team talk for both sides. And the second half, Grey kept that momentum.
They did. They seemed to settle. Megadesi got another try, so did Adams. And the article mentions Darius Irwi, that's pronounced Irvier, having a strong game too, helping to, calm those nerves about another potential home loss.
Okay, sounding more like the Grey everyone expects.
Yeah, but Affys, credit to them, they didn't just roll over. They fought back late, scored 2 tries right near the end, made it really close.
So what was the final score then?
Grey held on 42-37. A real high-scoring thriller. Definitely value for money for the spectators.
Sounds like it. Okay, let's head over to Paarl, another big derby. Yeah. Boland Landbu against Paul Roos. Different kind of setup here, right? Paul Roos looking to rebound from that loss to Paarl Gim.
Exactly. And on paper, Paul Roos were ranked quite a bit higher, about 10 spots above Boland. But Boland were at home, clearly up for an upset, and boy, did they start fast.
How fast?
Like bang, bang. 14-0 up inside the first 10 minutes. 2 quick tries. The home crowd must have been going wild.
It's an incredible start. Paul Roos must have been stunned. Did they respond?
They got a try back, yeah. But then Boland's, Brinsky really made his mark, kicked a massive 40-yard penalty.
Wow.
And then scored a try himself. Suddenly, Boland are leading 24-7 at halftime, just totally dominating that first half.
Right, so Paul Roos were really staring down the barrel at the break. What happened in the second half? Did they come out firing?
They needed to, and they did get an early try through Zach Hickman. Travis Pfeiffer converted, making it 24-14. We thought, okay, here we go, game on.
But Boland shut the door again.
Initially, yes, they scored again, a charge down try, then another one from Jason Ox. The lead stretched out to 36-14, less than 20 minutes left. Looked pretty much done and dusted for Boland. Upset secured, you'd think.
Uh-oh, I sense a butt coming. This is where the remontada comes in. The article mentions that. And even Fergie Time.
Exactly that. For you listening, think of a crazy, improbable comeback right at the death. Paul Roos just exploded.
How did it unfold?
4 unanswered tries. It was relentless. Luke Kent scored after a poor Boland lineout. Then Keenan Stoffels got one around 61 minutes. Altis Rib scored with maybe 5 minutes left.
Made him closer.
And then right at the end, literally the last second, 70 minutes on the clock, penalty try awarded to Paul Roos.
No way.
Yes way. Final score, 40-36 to Paul Roos. The source mentions the stunned silence from the home crowd. Just an unbelievable turnaround.
That's absolutely brutal for Boland Landbu. Incredible finish from Paul Roos, though. Shows amazing character.
It really does. Never give up. A classic derby finish.
Okay, wow. Let's catch our breath. The third King Price game. Selborne versus Dale College in the Eastern Cape. Sounds like this one was different. Less of a score fest.
Yeah, much tighter. More of a grinder, This one came down to kicking, really. Selborne's Bunkina Nuku kicked 5 penalties.
5 penalties? That's clutch kicking.
Absolutely. That was basically the difference. Dale did manage a converted try late on, made it close, but Selborne's accuracy from the tee saw them through. A different kind of win, built on precision and defense.
Okay, so that wraps up the King Price Series highlights. What else caught the eye around the country? Stellenberg had a big result, didn't they?
Huge. They completed what the source calls a grand slam over the 4 big South Suburb schools in Cape Town. They beat Bishops away 38-13, and apparently that's their first ever away win against Bishops.
That is massive. What does that Grand Slam actually signify?
Well, beating Wynberg, Rondebosch, SACS, and Bishops, especially getting that tough away win at Bishops, it really marks them out as, perhaps the dominant force in that very competitive Cape Town schools scene this year. Really impressive achievement.
Definitely something for Stellenberg to be proud of. Any other notable results?
Yeah, Rondebosch bounced back well after a hockey loss, beating SACS pretty convincingly, 40-17. Sometimes those cross-sport results can galvanize a school.
Interesting point.
And up in KwaZulu-Natal, big wins for DHS, Northwood, and Hilton shows the strength across the province. But sticking with the Eastern Cape for a moment, Queen's College.
Yes, Queen's. They beat St. Andrews, right?
They did, 38-17. And this is significant because it extends their winning streak now.
That's impressive form.
It really is. And it sets up an absolutely massive game next weekend. They play Grey High.
Okay.
This isn't just another game on the schedule. If Queens can beat Grey High after this run they've had, it would really be a statement, potentially establishing themselves as the top dogs in Eastern Cape schools rugby right now over a traditional powerhouse. The stakes are huge for that one.
Definitely one to watch next weekend then. And quickly, any highlights from Gauteng?
Some close ones there, too. Pretoria boys just got past St. Stithians, 29-27. Jeppe had a more comfortable win over St. John's, 31-6. And KES won a real nail-biter against Northule, 23-22. So, yeah, tight matches all over.
Okay, so if we pull back and look at the big picture from this weekend, what are the main takeaways?
Well, first, the King Price Derby Series games were just fantastic viewing. High scores, lots of drama, momentum shifts, everything you want in Derby rugby. That Paul Roos comeback, Gray holding off Affies, just brilliant stuff.
Yeah, definitely showcased resilience and the importance of playing for the full 70 minutes.
Exactly. And obviously these results shake up rankings, give bragging rights, all that important stuff. But I think, as we just discussed, that Queen's College story is really compelling. That streak.
And the looming Grey High clash.
Precisely. It feels like it could be a genuinely significant moment for the balance of power in Eastern Cape rugby.
Right. So wrapping up this deep dive, we've seen some incredible rugby. Grey College digging deep against Affies, Paul Ruth pulling off that miracle remontada against Boland, Selborne's tactical win, plus Stellenberg's historic achievement and strong showings elsewhere.
And woven through it all is this narrative building around Queen's College. Their winning streak, their consistency, and now this massive test against Grey High next week. It really makes you think about shifts in the school rugby landscape.
It certainly does. With Queen's College riding this wave of 8 straight wins and facing the might of Grey High next, what does that game truly mean for who holds the power in Eastern Cape schools rugby going forward? Something to definitely keep an eye on.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into a fantastic weekend of schoolboy rugby.
Until next time, stay curious.